3 hat tricks, 11 goals, 2 generational superstars rewriting record books on the same night, and a debutante nation from the Middle East nearly pulling off the upset nobody saw coming. June 16, 2026. 4 matches, 4 results that will define who tops groups 1 and J heading into the next round of the FIFA World Cup. This is Matchday 6. France and Senegal, 2 heavyweights of their respective continents, one a defending champion, the other the undisputed kings of Africa. The script was always going to be dramatic. Nobody, however, predicted quite the manner in which it unraveled. Didier Deschamps set France up in their trusted 4-3-3. Mbappé nominally through the center, but constantly drifting left, dragging Senegal's right back, Ismaïla Sarr into no man's land. Barcola on the right was a direct threat. Olise, operating between the lines, was the architect. Senegal defended brilliantly for an hour. Their defensive block was deep, disciplined, physical. Aliou Cissé had done the homework. 65 minutes. France dominated possession nearly 50% but found no way through. 11 attempts at goal by the hour mark, just 2 on target. The crowd grew impatient. Then, the 66th minute, Mbappé received on the half turn, took one touch to set himself and curled a shot of stunning precision into the far corner. The goalkeeper rooted, didn't move. The stadium erupted. But what made this goal historic was not just the technique. That strike made Kylian Mbappé the all-time leading scorer in the history of the French national team at a FIFA World Cup, a record that once seemed permanently inscribed in the name of Just Fontaine, broken by a 27-year-old who hasn't even reached the peak of his powers. Bradley Barcola added a second in the 82nd minute with a predatory finish from close range after a devastating counterattack, his pace simply too much for the tiring Senegalese midfield. Senegal pulled one back through Ibrahim Mbaye deep into stoppage time, 90+5, consolation that sparked wild celebrations in the away end. But a minute later, Mbappé had the last word, 90+6, slotting home a penalty to complete a 3-1 victory. Group 1's first message was sent. France, clinical. Mbappé, historically. While France were making history in New Jersey, 320 kilometers up the eastern seaboard in Boston, a 22-year-old Viking was making his World Cup entrance, and he was not interested in being subtle about it. Erling Haaland, the most physically imposing striker of his generation, making his first ever appearance at a FIFA World Cup. Norway had waited 28 years for this moment. Haaland had waited his entire career. He didn't wait long. 29th minute, Odegaard's through ball split Iraq's backline with surgical precision. Haaland, running from deep, took it in his stride, steadied himself with one touch, and drilled it low past the goalkeeper's left hand. Norway 1-0. Didn't stop. 43rd minute, a flick on from the right, Haaland ghosting between 2 center backs. Neither of them tracking his run, heading downward with clinical precision. 2-0. Just before halftime, the Boston crowd, heavily Nordic, descended into rapture. Iraq fought. Credit where it's due, this was a competitive, physical Iraq side. Ayman Hussein, their captain, their talisman, their everything, pulled one back on the stroke of halftime, heading in from close range. 2-1 at the break. The dressing room must have given Erdal Kamal's squad some belief, but Norway's defensive organization in the second half was suffocating. Leo Østigård, the center back, delivered the knockout blow in the 76th minute, towering above everyone from a corner to make it 3-1. And then, agonizingly for Iraq, an own goal in the 90th minute completed a 4-1 scoreline that looked brutal on the eye, but perhaps flattered Norway slightly, given how well Iraq played in spells. Haaland's first ever World Cup, 2 goals. Norway's message to France: we're coming for top spot. And then there was Kansas City, because on the same evening that Mbappé was breaking records and Haaland was announcing himself, the man who has done more for the game of football than possibly anyone alive walked out onto a World Cup pitch and did something only he can do. 17th minute, the stadium hadn't even settled. Rodrigo de Paul, operating deep in a piston-like central midfield role, found Messi on the edge of Algeria's penalty area. 2 touches, an almost contemptuous shimmy that left the Algerian midfielder for dead. And then, with the outside of his left foot, a curling ball that kissed the inside of the right post and nestled in the net. Algeria, a talented, cohesive side built on European-based League One quality, simply had no answer for him. Their system was designed for a high press, designed to disrupt. You cannot press a player whose first touch takes the ball to a place that makes the press irrelevant. Messi's average touch position was almost entirely between the lines, the one place you can never press without leaving space behind. 60 minutes, second goal. This time, it was pure, uncut Messi genius. A 1-2 with Lautaro Martinez Martinez near the top of the box. He spun 180 degrees on a coin, creating space from nothing. And then a driven finish out of white Algerian defender. The goalkeeper saw it too late, 2-0. And then came the 76th minute of history. An incisive Argentina move involving Enzo Fernandez, and Duvall laid the ball into the path of Messi, arriving late into the penalty area, ghost light, untracked as he has done his entire career. He finished first time, low into the corner. Hat trick, a FIFA World Cup hat trick for Lionel Messi. The Argentine immediately held 3 fingers to the sky and looked upward, a gesture understood by anyone who has followed his journey. He has now scored at 5 consecutive men's FIFA World Cups, matching Cristiano Ronaldo's record. He is the undisputed king of this tournament. Algeria's night was a painful reminder of the vast gap that still exists between world football's elite and its challengers, even very good challengers. They had 50% possession. They pressed relentlessly. They ran until the final whistle. None of it mattered. When Messi is in this form, logic becomes irrelevant. Argentina, 3 points. Messi, 3 goals. Kansas City, silence into awe. If Messi's hat trick was the night's headline, Austria versus Jordan was its most human story, because this wasn't 2 giants colliding. This was Jordan making their debut at the FIFA World Cup, daring to believe that the fairy tale was possible. Jordan's national team has never played at a World Cup, never. Their 2026 qualification was arguably the greatest sporting achievement in the nation's history. And they arrived at San Francisco not just to make up the numbers. Austria took the lead in the 20th minute through Romano Schmidt, a crisp, well-constructed team move finished with a confident, driven shot from the edge of the box. Austria red, professional, composed. This was Ralf Rangnick's system executing exactly as designed. Press high, recover the ball, play vertical, but Jordan refused to fade. Their midfield pressed relentlessly despite the deficit. Their wingers stretched Austria's fullbacks to the limit. And in the 50th minute, Ali Owen delivered the moment an entire nation had been waiting for. A stabbed finish from 6 yards, turning the stadium into a cauldron of red and black Jordanian flags. That goal changed the stadium completely. For 20 minutes, Jordan were the better side. Austria, rattled, suddenly hesitant, retreated and let the Jordanians carry the game. Rangnick's halftime substitutions had been bold, but his players were being outrun and outworked. Own goal in the 76th minute, Yazan Al-Arab redirecting a low Austrian cross into his own net was the moment the fairy tale began to fracture. Cruel, random, World Cup football at its most indiscriminate. Jordan pressed for a second equalizer, but Austria, restored to their numerical leads, rediscovered their defensive shape. And then in the 90-plus 12th minute, deep into the most extraordinary added time, Marko Arnautovic stepped up to convert a penalty and seal a 3-1 result that was simultaneously comfortable and deeply unfair on Jordan. Arnautovic, Austria's veteran talisman, all grit and experience, slammed it down the middle. Austria topped Group J on goal difference above Argentina. Jordan leaves San Francisco with their heads held high, knowing they gave everything. Think about what that means. Mbappé versus Haaland on the same pitch, winner takes top spot. In Group J, Argentina and Austria both on 3 points, identical goal difference. Messi side face, Algeria next in the rematch, they will already be certain. Austria must navigate Argentina in what promises to be the tie of the second matchday round. The question I want to leave you with, and I want to know what you think, is this. After June 16, 2026, who is your tournament favorite? Messi's machine, Mbappe's force of nature, or is Haaland's Norway about to shock the world? Drop your answer in the comments below.